If you've got a great story to tell an employer and you know that it would make you stand out and get the job, there are 3 ways that I'm seeing right now that people are getting their story actually in front of someone who can help them get the interview. And if you give me 2 minutes right now, I'm gonna break that down for you. This is Job Search School and you don't wanna miss it. If you don't have time, bookmark it so you can come back, because I promise you, you probably haven't heard of a couple of these in terms of getting that story in front of the right person. So first of all, your career story, your connection story is what's going to separate you from everyone else that's applying for that job. Right now, hundreds and thousands of people are applying that all relatively have the same skills, which means your skills don't mean anything. What you now have to do is go to the next level and present what I call your UVA, your unique value add. And we do that in a storytelling format where we share how we feel connected to the company, its products, its services, its mission, and the work. We have to explain why we get them. This shows them that we have something called intrinsic motivation. And that is simply what's going to get us up out of bed to want to go and really crush this job for them. And the reason that you need this story right now is that there's a ton of competition. So hiring managers and employers are sitting in a position where they can get the candidate and choose the candidate that is going the extra mile and showing that they are really connected to them, that they get them. Right? And I'm hearing this from hiring managers every single day. I just want to hire somebody that gets us. I'm reading cover letters and stories now, JT, but I want to hear not why you think you're awesome for the job, but why we are awesome, why you get who we are and what we do, because that's what drives you to do this job well, okay? So it's not brown nosing like somebody said in another TikTok comment to me. This is about you showing that you get them, that you're part of them. And that comes through in this storytelling, okay? Now, with that in mind, 3 ways to get your story in front of them. Obviously, one is called a disruptive cover letter. It is not a traditional cover letter. It is a cover letter where you tell the story and it's written in a very compelling format, in almost like a storytelling format with bolded titles that get them at hello. This is working incredibly well for my customers right now. Every single day, people are like, I can't believe it. I wrote a disruptive cover letter and a recruiter called me and said it was amazing, or the hiring manager reached out to me and said, best story they ever heard. Again, you're finally giving the recruiters and hiring managers something to get excited about by writing this new style of cover letter, okay? And so if you want to learn how to write a disruptive cover letter, I do teach it over at my company, Work It Daily. So you can go check it out there. Second thing is, if you can't get a cover letter to them, let's say it's not something that you can do through the application process, you can take that connection story, that cover letter, and back channel it using a tool like LinkedIn. So you can go to LinkedIn, find a bunch of people that work in the department that you would be working in. You can do some searching and you can send a custom invitation to them to connect. So when you ask them to connect, it says add a note. You add a note and you have 300 characters to say, I'm a huge fan. I'd love to share a story. Can we connect? And so you're kind of teasing that there's a story. Let's face it, any time somebody says to us, hey, I've got a story to tell you, right? It's kind of like, I got some gossip. That gets them excited. It's why we're just obsessed as humans to hear stories. They evoke emotion. They connect us. So you say, I have a story to tell you about your company. Can we connect? And then when they connect, you are able to send them a message that says, I'm a huge fan, and encloses the story of why. And then you PDF that disruptive cover letter, that connection story, and you include it. You don't send your resume because your LinkedIn profile already acts as that. You just send the story so they can open up and read it. This is working exceptionally well, especially if you get the hiring manager who says, oh my gosh, I love this story. Then they go look at your LinkedIn profile, and then they go message the recruiter and say, pull this person's application from the pile. Again, I am seeing this with my Work It Daily members. Every single day they're messaging, oh my gosh, JT, it worked. Now, there is a third way that's a little bit more non-traditional if these other ways aren't working. And that is to follow their social channels. And if you really are passionate about this company and you feel comfortable, this would be harder for somebody who is currently working because you're probably doing a stealth job search, so you wouldn't want publicly for people to know. But folks, if you're between jobs right now, right, maybe you were laid off or fired, there would be no reason you couldn't do this, which is to write a post, say on LinkedIn, and tell the story that's in this cover letter, this connection story, about why you think the company's awesome. Tag the company because their social media manager will find it, and hashtag the company as well. And then at the bottom say, P.S. I'm such a fan that I recently applied to your XYZ job. The reason for this is you're now giving that company some free social media love. right? You're giving a testimonial about that company and why they're awesome. You're being very specific to them. And what will happen is because you've tagged the company, social channels, they'll see it. Now, this can be great because a social media manager is going to want to forward that to say, look at the great testimonial we're getting about our company. And this person even applied to one of our jobs recently. Can be a great way to get visible. And if they like it, right? So if the social media manager likes the post, you could even then try to direct message the social media manager, depending on what platform you did this post on, and say, I'm a huge fan, just applied, do you have any tips on how I can get in touch with the hiring manager? And that social media manager might go to bat for you because, again, you're helping them with their job. So that's a more creative way. I get it's not for everyone, but I guess my point to you folks is that your stories are really what's going to get you hired and get you that interview. And you're going to have to go the extra mile right now. Job search is a game. You have to play the game if you want to get a job. And in competitive job markets, you need to level up your skill sets, right? So you've got to do things differently. A lot of us don't have people we know at these companies that can just introduce us. We need to get more resourceful. And I just want to leave on this note. A lot of people don't do this because of fear of rejection. Rejection isn't going to hurt you. It's not a knife. It's not going to hurt you. This is the time to lean in. And the more you do this, the closer you get to yes. All it's going to take is one person to see this and say, hey, let's pull this person from the pile and interview them. And it's going to be all worth it. You're going to forget all of the people that said no. That's going to mean nothing to you. And you're going to feel the joy of the person that said yes and helped you get that interview, okay? So there you have it, folks. There are ways for you to get your story noticed. Put some skin in the game right now. Work smarter, not harder. You're not going to do this for every company. You're going to do it for the ones you really care about. You go job shopping, you get picky, and then you put more effort into that. You work smarter, not harder, okay? Thank you so much for this comment, folks. I'm trying to help 10 million people on this app get new, better paying jobs. I'm doing that with live streams, a ton of content, and of course, a bunch of free job search resources linked in my bio. If that sounds like you, will you help me out? It's totally free. Like and follow me here and keep posting your valuable questions because I want to help you as much as I can, okay? Thank you, everyone. Good luck. Go get them.